Hey, what's going on everybody? Blaze for here and today for another video of BlackCloverMobile. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to continue with the series, which is pretty much the best gear set for each of your characters that you would like to build here. This is going to be the SR edition for supports. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Got a couple spreadsheets made. I will be having Beto and Raya's most likely made tonight, so look forward to that. And then we're gonna get the rest of the guys also made later on throughout the week, so look forward to that as well. But let's go ahead and hop straight into it here. So as just in the last time, we ended up doing a lot of builds here, in which we're going to start with our SR characters here. And one of the first characters that we're going to be looking at is going to be SR Noelle. Now, this character is pretty dang good. I've ended up building her a little bit and I just kind of swapped gear sets around. And so now I've got a good feel of like what's a good set on her, what she's built off of, and things like that. And so she can come in handy whether she's like an off-tank kind of deal and just help out the team in general. So let's go ahead and look at her kit, and then I'll go ahead and show the set on the screen as well at the same time here. So for her set here, she's going to be running attack gold border, speed gold border, and defense gold border. Now I know a couple of you guys are like, she's a support, why is she having this here? And this is primarily because her barrier that she actually puts on you for her skill 2 and her ultimate here is actually built off of magic attack. So if you guys already know, of course, about the two-piece attack set here, at least the two-piece gold attack set here, it's pretty much like a 7% for both regular attack and magic attack. So not only is she getting a little bit extra damage, but she's also building up on her whole skill as well, in which this also affects her united attack with Mimosa, which furtherly is a barrier that is equivalent to magic attack. Now, I found this set to be very, very useful for the most part, but of course, if there's people who don't feel like she should be using the attack side of things here, you could of course go with the HP defense and attack regular, or at least the HP defense and attack instead of the speed defense and attack. And if you're feeling a little bit like, I don't know if she really needs the speed, I think she needs more of a tankier side of things, you could go with that. Now for the substats that you want to be aiming for with just any of her pieces here, it's going to be magic attack. I keep calling it damage reduction, but it's damage mitigation, which is the 3 dashes here, HP, and crit resistance. These are pretty much really good for her to have here, seeing of course you need as much magic attack as possible to make her barriers do go off here. Damage mitigation to actually of course tank those hits. HP as well, you could either use defense if you really want to, but HP is really good to have on her as well, and then crit resistance. Now for some people who are wondering the HP side of things, she does only have 54k HP when she's maxed out at level 100, so I feel like the HP side of things might be a little bit more helpful, especially seeing that, you know, she's probably lacking a little bit of that. So just in case you don't want to do the speed, the HP one could very well work out. Now, when it does come down to her, at least in general, overall, what you want to be using on her, I do suggest use her actual card here, which helps her skill 2 anyways. It's very, very helpful in that side of things, or at least that side effect of things here. And then if you don't want to use her card, you could possibly use Vanessa's here. So for example, her first card here, upon being hit by a crit, she applies a barrier equal to 5% through 10% of a max HP of the ally with the highest attack for the turn here. And I gotta remember, I have to show you guys the actual screen here because you guys are just hearing me read off some stuff. But and you're going to be using this here, which is being determined, and this is pretty much what that does. Now if you don't want to use this, you could possibly go for Vanessa's at least move here, in which applies 20 through 40% increased damage resistance to an ally with the lowest amount of HP for 1 turn on using the skill 2. So not only are you getting that barrier off here, but then you can give an ally at least some damage res as well, and which is kind of nice. And I think that's pretty I think it's pretty good. I think that was pretty good. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and actually keep those 2 cards on her. If you have any other suggestions, you can comment it down below. It does help me out quite a lot here. But this sums up pretty much all of Noelle's build. Now when it comes into our next character that we're going to be at least reviewing here, this character, whoopsie, I accidentally double clicked out. this character is actually a crazy good one for at least the meta scene here, and this is Valtos. Now, Valtos I haven't had time to really build myself, but I do know exactly at least how I want to build him, in which is kind of contradictory to some parts of his support aspect, I guess you could say. And I would either build him with a 4-piece support set, or a 4-piece speed set and a 2-piece defense set, or you can just be safe and play it a little bit safer here: 2-piece defense, 2-piece HP, and a 2-piece speed. Now, my main reason for at least doing this here, excuse me, I'm a little bit sick, sorry. Main reason for doing this here for itself is this character is an absolute speed demon. You get his ultimate off, most likely the other player isn't going to be playing, because it absolutely just speeds up everything here. With his entire kit, it's kind of dummy. I can't lie, for an SR it's kind of dummy here. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick while I actually explain some of this stuff here that we're going to be looking at. With his skill 1, this man increases his stamina to an ally with the lowest amount of stamina here, which is pretty much just like your speed area, how much you have there. He also applies magic attack level 3 to at least a ally for 2 turns, while also having block stamina reduction. So any character like Lotus and them who are trying to make sure you can't move as fast, no, he straight up blocks that, making you immune to the stamina reduction. But the thing that really comes in handy the most is his Murad Black here, in which this one here increases 20% increased stamina to all allies. And when I say this is quick, I mean this is quick. You will have a full team outspeed everybody on your lane, pretty much no matter who it is, if this character is on the field. So you have to be kind of careful when playing against this guy. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with. And so the set that I actually felt like was best for him was definitely going to be at least the speed set with the at least the 4-piece speed and 2-piece defense. But as I did say, if you want to be a little bit safer, the top set may be the best part. Now with his substats, I didn't explain this here. You want to go with HP, defense, crit res, and damage mitigation here. Mainly just to give him that extra bump here, because he is missing a decent bit of HP. For an example, his defense is kind of lower, but we do just want him to just chunk him up a little bit so he can easily just keep outspeeding while also keeping himself alive. If you did want to, a third set that's possible is speed, attack, and defense, but I would not recommend it. I was at least having some people test that out for me, and it was not too good. Now, when it comes down to his cards, you guys, that is where the interesting thing is going down here. So let's go ahead and pull up this card real quick for you all, and that is Cultist Retribution. Now, I at least showcased this card not long ago here, and so having this card example is absolutely amazing here, being that it applies 5 through 20% of increased stamina upon to yourself for special skill. Yes, as I did say, this character is a speed demon. So along with having his card maxed out, he could possibly have a 20% increased stamina just for using his special skill. So this man is coming back up quick immediately, and it just is a whole speed trap when it comes down to PvP, and is very much so dangerous, being on the opposite end of it. So this definitely is a really good card for him. Another good SR card that you would most likely be running on this character is going to be Fenral's card here, just in case you use his skill 2, in which it has a 25% through 50% chance of applying 10% increased stamina to yourself when using his skill 2. I still think that at least his regular card is absolutely amazing. I didn't include any SSR cards in this, but in the future ones I probably will be doing that, just because we may have more access to SSR cards at that point. So that all is explaining at least Valtos' side of things here. And I gotta say, this character is definitely one of the few MVP characters that is out right now in the SR scene. Now, coming down to our next character here, that is going to end up being Vanessa. Now, Vanessa is pretty dang cracked. I actually talked about her in a what's called, I think it was a top 10 characters to pretty much build here, and she's pretty dang good. I didn't know about her too much until like I faced I think a couple, and then I was noticing some aspects about her, and I decided to actually look into her kit a little bit more. And when I decided to check her kit, she actually has some interesting things here, such as her skill 1 giving off accuracy level 2, the skill 2 giving off some defense as well here, which was very nice to see, as well as dispelling DOT damage, while also her skill 3 giving off blessings of protection and total defense, which is pretty much for total defense. Every pretty much damage that you dealt to you is blocked, and then blessing of protection, whenever you have damage blocked, is just HP that you're getting back, which is very nice to have for this character. So when I was building her character and looking at least her set here, this is what I ended up coming up with, in which we're going to go ahead and go with the speed, HP defense, and well, speed and HP defense. The reason being for this is because this character needs to live a lengthy amount of time. Pretty much you want to kind of build her into a tank, so as you can notice, I have some defensive things on her as well. You don't want her to die, pretty much. You don't want her to die. You want to be very annoying, so I gave her at least the HP set for the 7% extra increased HP, while also having the defense here, which is a nice amount of percentage that you get to have, including the main stats for defense, which is very nice to have on her. And then I gave her the extra speed so she can actually race back up and at least try to get as much things off as possible. Now, when it does come down to the things that you would like to have on her, I put for her substats HP, damage mitigation, defense, and crit resistance. Instead of having defense, you could possibly put more accuracy, because I do know that one of her skills, which I think it's her skill 1, actually increases accuracy here for the most part, and it's pretty interesting to have. But she doesn't have anything that requires really her dealing damage, so accuracy isn't as necessary, but can be useful to an extent. Now, if you guys are wondering why she doesn't have any magic attack or anything like that on her, inside of her kit, none of her things really scale off of like magic attack inside of like actual descriptions here, and so there was no need for this. It's more the need to just like continuously keep this character alive and keep her up and moving. Now, she does have, of course, 110 speed, so I would definitely suggest keep the speed HP defense set. It will definitely help out in the long run. Now, coming down to her cards here, her cards are going to be fairly interesting, in which we already went over her own card, which is the Oath of Protection here. This applies damage resistance, which is upon using her skill 2. So if you go ahead and put that on while also having her skill 2 here, you get not only defense level, but the enhanced version, which is extra endurance, which is actually really nice to have for at least everyone on your side. And I think that was pretty good to have on her no matter what, because her signature card isn't bad whatsoever. Coming down to the next card that you're possibly going to be wanting to use is Valtos here. So yeah, instead of like the last one where we actually, it was like mix matching, we're going to be mix matching this a little bit here, and applies increased stamina to yourself upon a skill usage. This was something I was looking at out of the SR cards, and I was like, this probably could work the best for her, seeing that you are going to use her special skill to at least block a lot of the damage. So why not try to get her back up to the plate in order to use her skill 2 afterwards, which could be very helpful in order to either help out inside of PvE or PvP. So I think this one was really good to have at her side. But anyways, when it comes to that character here, we are done showcasing her. Coming down to our final character, which is the most anticipated one that a lot of you guys have been asking me to do. You actually wanted, a couple of you guys wanted me to put him inside of the SSR selection, but I ended up not doing that for the series related things, and that is Fenral. Now, Fenral, we all know what this man can do. First of all, Fenral has been whoopsies, that's the wrong one. Fenral has been absolutely crazy when it comes down to his things that he can possibly do. You can run this man definitely on 4-set, 2-set, which is the speed and defense one. But if you want him to be a little bit safer side of things, you can run him with the HP, defense, and speed. And I have to straight up say, if you're doing PvP, 4-set, speed, and defense might be the way to go. PvE wise, you can use the HP, defense, and speed type of set, but I would definitely say for defense, for PvP wise, you might want to go with that 4-set. This character easily keeps up with people. He has a couple things like crit rate ups and stuff like that, where it comes down to it. and he's absolutely cracked. I have to admit it. So going ahead and looking at his kit, if you guys have not looked at that yet, which I don't know what you're doing if you haven't here. We go ahead and look at his skill 1, which increases speed to 2 allies with the lowest stamina for 2 turns, which is pretty dang nice. But his things that really matter is his special skill and his second skill. The second skill increases attack level by 2 to all allies for 2 turns, which is absolutely amazing here. And then his it also increases crit rate by applying a buff 10% increased damage for them for 2 turns, which this is actually something that's interesting because the higher you get up his card, you are getting that increased damage done too up as well, which is very nice to have for any of your people who he's supporting. While if you also have it upgraded to a very high extent here, you have a 60% chance to apply 15% increased stamina to all allies, which is very, very nice. Coming in with his special skill here, he has increased speed level 3 to all allies for 2 turns, a 60% chance to dispel debuffs from an ally, and 50% chance to apply increased crit rate level 3 to an ally for 2 turns. Now, this one I would not suggest upgrading, but it definitely is worth at least using a lot because it helps out no matter what. His kit's absolutely amazing here. And so this furtherly was at least acknowledging me to say, hey, let's go ahead and do at least a speed set on him because this will definitely be his best thing that you're going to be going for. Now, once again, as I did say, you want him to be a little bit tanky. So yeah, keep that on him because I think for his actual like stats here, as you can tell, they're kind of a little bit low, in which we want to make sure Mans can live a decent bit while also tanking a decent bit, and then having his speed just take over for the rest, which as you can tell, his speed at level 100 max is at 124, so he definitely can keep up with most of the SSRs, if not all of them, and only I think like a few may can beat him when it comes into that side of things here. But going over his cards, which we're using his main card here, and then of course Vanessa's here, I found out of course his main card is going to be no matter what the best. You are using his skill 2 a decent bit, so increasing his stamina to himself by 25% or 50% chance in getting that 10% increased stamina is absolutely amazing, allowing him to get back up to the plate. But then also if you're using that Vanessa one, of course, having that extra damage res to an ally is actually amazing too, because you're already buffing all your allies anyways with the skill 2. So at least giving that extra damage res to the person with the lowest HP wouldn't be that bad either. So they're both good to actually look at. Once again, in the future, we will be adding SSR cards, but this is currently just SR type of builds. So this character, gotta say, if you guys have not built him, definitely get him built. He's absolutely worth it. And that's pretty much for his set. Now, once again, I did say I will be building the set for Veto and Raya, so look forward to that very, very soon here. And in the next video, when it comes down to at least who we're building, or at least who we're going to be trying to show you guys who to build, what their builds are next, is going to be our debuffers. We got 4 characters in there, and then the one after that most likely is going to be defenders and healers. So look forward to that. If you're interested in some debuffers, this is like Heath, Grice here, Magna, Nebra, and of course Sharon. You guys are interested in them too, or at least them 4? Well, the next video is going to be up for you. So till then, next time, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, I am sorry that I am kind of feeling a little bit sick and stuffy, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smack that like button with your forehead and consider subscribing if you are new. We're gonna try and get back on our daily train because it's been a lot of unfortunate events. So till then, everybody, peace out.